Hey everyone, welcome back to Horseplay. I was just going to have a little chat to you today and explain why we've ended up with 5 rabbits. So, last summer, just before the schools broke up for the summer holidays, my children went with their school to a really lovely new petting zoo, I guess you'd call it, called the Funny Farm in Ardnamurchan. And the lovely Sarah, who owns the Funny Farm, had bought 2 bunnies for the park, and was told that they were 2 girls. As often happens with bunnies, she found out quite quickly that they were not 2 girls, and then suddenly became inundated with a million baby bunnies. I'm not quite sure how many, but there were lots. So after the children, of course, had been cuddling baby bunnies for a while, they came home and said, please can we have baby bunny? They need new homes and we must help them. So me being a sucker for animals, said, yes, of course we can have baby bunnies. My husband wasn't quite as enamored with the idea, mainly because when the children were little, I took them to a place in Derbyshire called Chatsworth. It's a beautiful stately home with this amazing farm. And I came back with 4 guinea pigs. But I didn't tell him that I was coming back with 4 guinea pigs. So I walked into the living room holding 1 guinea pig and said, so this is Snowdrop. And then I walked away. And then I came back a minute later with another guinea pig. And this is Mushroom. And then I walked away. And then I came back with, and this went on for a while, Lily and Honey. And at that point, he had a bit of a meltdown. We now had 4 guinea pigs when he thought I was coming back with 1. But we all know we can't have 1 because they're a social species. Same with the bunnies. So, fast forwarding to this summer, we then had the conversation with the girls of, okay, we're happy for bunnies. How many bunnies are we getting? Well, we can't get 1. Okay, we can't get 1. Social species, they've got to have a friend. Because they were born as a litter, it's actually, they'd already be bonded, so that wouldn't be too much of a problem. So then, okay, 2. And then Molly, my eldest, said, but we can't have 2 because if one of them dies, we'll have 1 on its own and then we might not be able to bond it with another one. So yeah, okay, fair enough. Good argument. Let's go with 3. So we went down to the Funny Farm and we looked at the baby bunnies that were looking for homes and we selected 3. Then my husband said, oh, look at the little black one. That's a really lovely one. She is coming in. That's Roxy. And of course, the kids then took that opportunity to say, oh, yeah, great, Daddy, we can have the black one as well. So now we're on to 4. Then we had to leave them for a little while to be with their mummy and to grow up a little bit. So the summer passed and we went back to go and get our now grown-up bunnies. And Sarah, who owns a Funny Farm, said, are you sure you wouldn't like 1 more? Because I've just got 1 left of that litter and it'll be on its own. So obviously we took 5. Oh, look at all the bunnies. Little baby bunny.
Can't tempt you to take 5 now.
Oh, yes, you can tempt us to take 5, but I think that may be grounds for divorce.
No, please. No.
Just because we've got 1 left of that age.
Oh, have you?
Oh,
Yeah, so yeah, there's a lady.
So now there are 5 bunnies, and my experience of rabbits was as a child. We had a rabbit and a guinea pig, like you do. They lived in a hutch which was in the shed, and the front of the hutch was often open so the bunny and the guinea could run in and out of the hutch and around the shed. And then in the summer they had a big run in the garden and we put the hutch in the run and then they ran around in the thing. Brilliant, perfect. So I thought, yeah, that'd be fine. We'll have a big covered run. We'll have the barn, and we'll section an area off of the barn that they can turn into a bunny heaven, and we'll have tunnels going out, and it'll be brilliant. And then I got them back, and it was a really sunny day, and I thought, we borrowed a big cat cage to keep them in temporarily until we set up their house. And I put them in this cat cage on the grass, so that they can have a bit of grass, a bit of sun. They were away from the ponies, so that the ponies could see them, they could see the ponies, and I'll sit with them. And within 20 minutes, we had 4 buzzards circling overhead. 4. So it became very clear very, very quickly that we are not going to be able to keep these rabbits outside, because even if they're protected with a covered run, they know those birds are circling overhead. They can hear them. They were watching them. They knew their bunny's eyes on the sides of their head. They can see above them. So it would they'd just be in a permanent state of fear. So then we had to rethink. And the house bunny thing is not something I'd really considered before, because I'm all about following the ethology of an animal. So our horses are not locked in stables. You've seen our other videos. They have as much freedom and choice in their lives as we can possibly give. They live out 24/7. They have free access to things that they need all the time. Lots of choices. So the idea of keeping a rabbit in a house jarred a little bit with that concept. But then considering if they live out, there's a high chance they're going to get eaten by something. People's chickens disappear here all the time. We have pine martens, we have otters, we have foxes, we have badgers, we have eagles, we have the buzzards, we have basically everything that will eat bunny. So there's a really high chance they're going to get eaten. We have owls, loads of owls. The other thing is the temperatures are can get quite low here. So if they were outside in a shed, the chances of the water freezing and the temperature dropping below freezing is quite high. Now for them, when they first came, we put them in the horse lorry. So a big space. I filled it straw bedding, loads of bales of straw, and a big pile of straw as well. Now there's 5 of them. So you have 5 bunnies snuggled together in a big pile of straw. They keep pretty warm. And when we went out and stroked them, their ears were warm and they were okay. But there were days when we went out to the lorry and the door was frozen shut. So I couldn't get in the lorry to check them. So that was not going to be a good solution. So although the environment worked quite well, there was in terms of predation, it was getting cold in there. And also the reason I didn't want to bring them in straight away was that none of them had been neutered. So the boys were spraying everywhere, and the smell, and yeah, I don't want that in my living room. So the advantages of going outside were outweighed by the disadvantages. So now I'm in a situation of, how do I make their life as natural as possible? How do I fulfill their natural needs, but keeping them safe? So the 2 big things that I really wanted to fulfill were sunlight and grass, or natural forage. So I was obviously not going to keep them in a cage, because I don't cage my horses, so why would I cage my bunnies? So they were going to have an area that was a pen or a room which was theirs, and then we would fulfill those needs in other ways. So there's loads of stuff you can get for bunnies, but just cardboard to chew on, little dig bowls to dig in. We go and pick grass and put it in, pick dandelions. Through the summer, I dry lots of different plants, so mint leaves and raspberry leaf and those kind of things, and I put them in little jars and feed those as well. So there's lots of different enrichment that I could come up with. So at the moment, this is temporary at the moment, we haven't worked out. So we have this big conservatory at the back of the house. I won't show you the other side of it because it's a children's play area and it's a complete mess. And what we've done is we started off with the cat cage I told you about, opens up, and we put it as barrier that goes all the way around. But then they jumped over it. So we now have a really high fence that also goes all around. It's all Christmased up. And this is their area that they go in when we're not in. So we have the litter boxes, their little hidey hole. They've got the obligatory IKEA bed, and then where the purple thing is, they lie on top of there in the morning when it's not raining, and they soak up all the sun. So they get their sun and heat from there. They have their hay feeders in here in their litter boxes. We're in the middle of a forest, so getting sticks and things for them to chew, they've chewed all day long, is not a problem. The only thing that's missing from here at the moment, hello everybody, is a dig box. So I've been giving them like a cardboard box with paper in to dig in, but at the moment we're still litter training a bit, so they were just weeing it. So I need to sort that out. Yeah, so that's where we are at the moment. However, I am foreseeing a problem that in the summer, it's going to be super hot in here. So if it's super hot, I'm going to have cooked bunnies. So there are other options that we're looking at now, other rooms we're looking at, possibly to become bunny rooms, possibly ways of opening up the conservatory. The doors that we have there, they're bifold doors, so they open right up, and that would disperse some of the heat into this room. And obviously all the windows open, but if I open all the windows, does that mean the pine marten are going to come in? Or yeah, so there's lots to consider, lots to work out. But with all these things, I have learned with time that if you just wait and see what happens and have a few possibilities, then it all pans out in the end, and you haven't really got to worry.